One of the words that you find used a lot in when people are talking about the crisis around climate, the emergency, is that there's something's unprecedented. The heat or the storms or the rise in temperature is all somehow unprecedented, and it is. I mean, the thing is that it is. That what's happening is happening so fast compared to other changes in the kind of global climate that have happened in the past. As far as we know, what's happening now is happening so quickly that nothing has a chance, really, to acclimatize to the changing climate. So we're seeing, mass extinction processes. We're seeing, just where I live, actually, really close to where I live, there's the Isle of May, which is an island out in the Firth of Forth here in the east of Scotland. And a population of seabirds just disappeared in November completely. They think they've all died. And they probably all died because there was a sequence of storms that came too close, much closer together than would normally happen. And that meant that they weren't able to fish. And they were already perhaps decimated or certainly affected by bird flu. So there's a number of different, forces there. Now, how do we deal with that? What really interests me is how do we deal with that? Because when you look at what's happening, it's so terrible, and the solutions are so clear in a way, and we have these other roles around in our society to do with crisis capitalism and various other forces where people are playing a game in order to maximize profit, perhaps even knowing that in doing so they're endangering everything else. Or the privilege of a few leads them to be unable to see really clearly what's going on. So it's not like the solutions are impossible to find, but what's impossible to find is how to deal with the power dynamics that are in society as a whole. And that really interests me as a facilitator. And also then, how do those dynamics appear in ourselves? How do they appear in me, where I feel kind of, where's where does my privilege that I have in my life because of my background and who I am and my whiteness and my maleness and various other, the fact that I was socialized as a man, how does all that actually obscure or make it difficult for me to see power dynamics in the moment? And how can I learn to get more of a perspective so I can find out where my difficulties are or where there's particular areas that I need to improve on. So in process work, we have this idea that the inner work that you do, so that means working with different parts of yourself, the part that feels hopeless, the part that feels hopeful, the part that's angry, the part that's powerful occasionally, and all of these other things. How do all these parts interrelate? And we often see that they interrelate in a similar dynamic to what's happening out there, to what's happening in the bigger world. So if we can understand that, then that gives us we have more possibilities, we have more opportunities, we have more doorways we can open to facilitate from and within.